Good morning, everybody. It's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to kind of have a little bit of a discussion while I'm doing shipping. So it has been brought to everyone's attention that shipping prices are going back up. This is not something that has never happened before. I actually have quite a few videos on my YouTube channel talking about postal updates and kind of how to combat them. I've discussed things like why I quit free shipping and why I am strictly 100% charging shipping to my customers. But it looks like we're having, I think for the fourth year in a row, 2 postage increases every single year. So I think between 2019 and July 2023, we've had somewhere between 8 and 10 postage rate increases. That's if you include the temporary Q4 increases that we've had too. So usually we get a postage rate increase every single January, and then lately we've been getting them sometime in Q4. Sometimes it's July, sometimes it's August. I think we might have even had one in June at some point. And then they also started doing like a temporary postage increase specifically for Q4 because the post office knows that more packages move during the holiday season, but they just call that a temporary price hike. But they do a temporary price hike just to turn around and then increase it in January. So as online sellers, we have been no stranger to postage rate increases. It is definitely a pain point with people. I know that every time I've ever talked about a postage rate increase or I've talked about doing free shipping versus charge shipping, those videos always get a lot of traction on my YouTube channel because it infuriates a lot of sellers. You know, there is this mindset of all sellers need to do free shipping because that's what Walmart does, that's what Amazon does, that's what eBay encourages. But when it comes down to it, free shipping is almost not an option anymore because year over year, quarter after quarter, our rates keep going up. And it looks like the rate increase for 2023 is like maxed out. Like they raised it as much as they could possibly raise it. I know that they have to, by law, maintain a certain percentage that they're allowed to gouge us. Let's just say it. It's gouging us at the post office. But by law, they can only increase it so much. Well, they have basically capped it out. It has gone up like 10% over the last year. It is absolutely crazy. They call it, oh, it's just 5% or it's just 4%. Let's be real. Annually, it's like 10 to 12% year over year. 4 years ago, I could ship a 4-ounce package for like $2.18. Now it's like $4. That is almost a 100% increase over the course of 4 or 5 years. It's infuriating. So we're going to talk about not only how to manage all of these postage rate increases when you're an online seller, but I also want to talk about things that you can do to mitigate all of those costs eating into your profits. But first, I'm going to reposition the camera because I have some shipping to do. And can we just talk about my shirt? Yeah, so yesterday we were going through FC boxes and I filmed an unboxing. It's probably already on my channel by the time this video is up. But my sister found this in one of the boxes and I just had to have it. So I'm wearing it today because I love it. Position the camera so that I can do shipping while I talk about shipping. And I'm going to be shipping items for Whatnot today. We had a really good electronics show yesterday. We did, let me see me at all. Maybe I won't readjust this. That's a little better. Have 2 cartfuls of electronics. We did a strictly electronic show yesterday. We ended up doing, I'm looking over here, $1,276 across 90 items. So we sold 90 items. So that means I have 90 items to package and ship today. So let's talk about shipping while I am shipping. And the first thing I want to talk about is the platform that I'm selling on. So lately, everyone has been hearing me talk a lot about Whatnot. That's not good. So lately, everybody has been hearing me talk a lot about Whatnot. Well, there is a reason. No, it's not because Whatnot sponsors me. No, it's not because Whatnot pays me to do anything. I just simply love the entire idea of the platform. I need a shipping scale. So there's a lot of things that I really, really like about Whatnot. And one of the primary things, aside from everything selling so quickly, keep in mind, I said I have 90 items that sold in 3 hours for almost $1,300. $1,278, I believe, was my total. Yes, there's fees that come out of that and all of that jazz. But not only is Whatnot a platform where we can move stuff really, really quickly, but it's also a platform that by default charges shipping directly to the buyer. So here's an item going out. Shipping was paid for 100% by the buyer. All of the buyers know this when they go into it. They know that they are going to be charged shipping. And the beauty of an auction run page, when you can actually see how much the shipping is going to be before you bid, you are essentially letting the customer dictate how much they're willing to pay for that item, taking shipping into consideration. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in these carts. I've got to figure out a different way. There's so much stuff and everything's buried. I am starting to realize that I cannot talk and do shipping at the same time because I have to make sure that I get the right packages. So I'm probably just going to do this last package and then I'm just going to talk to you and then I'm going to continue my shipping. This was a bad idea. I don't want to screw anybody's orders up because when I talk, my brain is doing other things and the last thing I want is to ship the wrong items to the wrong people. I am not about that. It's also really hard to find items. My carts are too full. I need to organize them a little bit better. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make is that platforms like Whatnot, not only do I like the speed in which things sell, but I also really appreciate that the buyer is always expected to pay 100% of the shipping. Because as I've mentioned before, on eBay, I have completely stopped free shipping. I do not do it anymore. I stopped doing it a long time ago. I did an entire video all about it. And honestly, it had no effect on my sales. Everyone's afraid to do it. Everyone thinks that unless you do free shipping, you don't qualify for a top-rated seller, which, spoiler alert, you do. You can be a top-rated plus seller and not offer free shipping. So the top-rated seller status on eBay is strictly about returns, speed at which you ship, all of that. You do not have to do free shipping in order to be top rated. Now you do have to do free returns in order to be top rated plus, but even I don't do that. So not necessary. So all of this is to say the number one thing that you can do to mitigate the cost of rising shipping is to charge the shipping to the buyer. Now, that being said, you will probably get people stomping their feet. People are probably going to want their items for a lower price because of the high shipping rate. Like I said, on the Whatnot platform, people have the ability to bid, and their bid is sort of dictated, by the amount of money that they want to pay because they can see how much the shipping is. So if something were to ship for, let's say, $5 and they're willing to pay $15 for it, well, then that means that they're willing to bid up to $10 for this item. However, if that same item is $8 to ship, then they're only going to want to bid to $6, $7, or $8 to get to that $15 price point, which means the bids are not going to go as high. So your customers on the Whatnot platform in particular will be able to dictate the price that they are willing to pay because of the shipping cost. So that means that if the cost of shipping keeps going up, that the bids will eventually be lower unless you have a higher end item that people are willing to bid higher for to offset the shipping price. But if you have a $10 item that you're trying to sell and it's going to cost $9 to ship it, well, then you're probably not going to get any bids. But even if we're just talking about a platform like eBay, it's the exact same thing. If you charge shipping to the buyer, then you are passing that on to the customer. However, that could also affect how much someone is willing to pay for your item. You might have to add best offer on your items if you don't already. I am a huge supporter of the best offer feature on eBay. I've used it forever, but I used best offer with free shipping on eBay, and that was one of the worst things I did. So if you're an eBay seller and you offer free shipping and you take offers, you should just stop that right now, in my opinion. You are going to be losing so much money. I went through like this evolution of discovery on eBay. I would do free shipping, and then I added offers, and then I realized how much money I was losing. So then I started doing best offer plus shipping, and I saw my profits start to go up. And it was like this evolutionary period for me selling on eBay when I just started, slowly discovering these things. And, and I've been like browbeating all my viewers, I feel like, for so long. Stop the free shipping. It's not necessary. You don't have to do free shipping. So don't do it. It's like, for me personally, it never hurt my sales. All you have to do is compensate the price of your item to keep the cost of the shipping in mind. For instance, if we're looking up comps on eBay and we see an item is selling for roughly $30 with free shipping, I just know after so many years of experience, it's probably going to cost about $8 to ship that item. So what we will end up doing is we will just simply ask $22 plus shipping for the item. This can also end up being an even better deal for the customer, because if the customer is closer to you geographically, their shipping could inherently be cheaper. That means that if someone is closer to you, they might actually get it cheaper from you, and it might actually push that sale, because they're only a state away, or they're in the same state as you, it might only cost $7 to ship to them. So someone else's listing might be $30 in free shipping, but yours is $22 plus $7 shipping. They're actually saving $1 buying from you, because that shipping is calculated based on the distance from you to them. Feel like I said all of that really fast. Hopefully it made sense. So end the free shipping. That is the #1 way to increase your bottom line with all of these postage rate increases. The only time I think that you can absorb the free shipping is if you have something that you are selling that is worth $100 plus and you're paying only a few dollars for it. When we're talking that kind of margin, yeah, you can absorb $1 or $2 here for shipping. But most of us aren't that way. Most of us are working off of, a 50% or lower margin of profit. So free shipping's just gotta go. That's the #1 thing that you can do. Free shipping has got to go. The other thing that you can do to mitigate these rising costs, and I have said this for years, I have an entire playlist that is dedicated to Facebook Marketplace, because the second best thing that you can do to mitigate these raising postage costs is sell more locally. Sell more locally. Annihilate shipping entirely. There's so many things that you can do to sell locally. And I know a lot of people are introverted, or you don't want to have to look customers in the face. You want to sit behind the computer and do e-commerce. I get that 100%. Believe me, I'm like on camera. I do the live auctions and everything. I don't really like public interaction, if I'm being honest. I am an introverted extrovert. I am an extrovert when people are around and I'm feeling comfortable. But if I have the choice, I would rather not meet a stranger. I'm just being real. I would rather not meet a stranger. Now, I do have like some subscribers that'll come in and say hi, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if I'm selling something on Facebook Marketplace and somebody wants to pick it up, I would rather put it on the porch and never see them and tell them to just leave the money under the mat than meet them at the door, say hello, and exchange goods. You get what I'm saying? So I completely understand the hesitation to do local sales. I know you don't want to meet people. I don't even talk to my neighbors really, if I'm being real. My husband is the social one. I don't really go outside and talk to my neighbors. My husband does. I don't. I just don't like seeing people in real life. I don't. I don't like making idle chit chat at the grocery store. I like to get in, get out. Like I said, introverted extrovert. That is who I am. I completely understand. But there are ways that you can do it to mitigate that social interaction. So there's a few different things that you can do to do local sales. It really does go beyond Facebook Marketplace. Before I had a physical storefront, we would do yard sales. That was one of the big things that we did in order to push stuff out locally. So what I would do is I would get pallets of merchandise in, I would list on eBay or Mercari or Poshmark all of the items that I felt were really good for online, and then everything that wasn't good for online I would just blow out at a yard sale, very similar to how I do the bin store. Cat just jumped in a box and it startled me. Now, I personally feel like holding a yard sale, interacting with people in person is a lot less intimidating. I know, hear me out. It's a lot less intimidating than meeting somebody one-on-one, because when you are interacting with somebody one-on-one for a pickup, it's a cattail, it's not a snake. There, she's down. Interacting with somebody one-on-one is way more intimidating to me personally than a big group of people. So if you're at a yard sale, or you're having a yard sale and you've got somebody that's interacting with you, you have that immediate ability to turn your attention to somebody else because there's lots of people at your yard sale, versus this idle chit chat with a one-on-one stranger. You have this whole same concept if you do like a flea market booth or something like that. I actually have some local customers here that shop from me that have a booth at a flea market that they don't even man. Yes, they have to pay booth rental and all of these things, but they don't have to ship anything. It's all local customers coming to pick up, no shipping is involved. Which leads me to another point. If you're selling on an e-commerce platform that is taking a chunk of money from you for the privilege of selling on their platform, and you're having to pay these astronomical shipping fees, that's like double eating into profits. So if you can get around that by having something like a flea market booth, or joining in on local church sales or community sales, that is a way to cut down on the fees that you're paying as well. But my number one suggestion for local sales, after everything that I've learned thus far, is to create a local Facebook page where you can sell items via Facebook, your own page. I'm not talking about Facebook Marketplace. I'm talking about create your own selling page of your own business to sell to your local customers and have them do pickups or do delivery. Something that I see people say all the time in the comment sections is, I can't sell on Facebook because I don't have a following. I can't sell on this because I don't have a following. I can't do this because I don't have a following. You guys, tough love, but that's a little bit of an excuse. That's a little bit of an excuse. My Facebook page has nothing to do with anything but my business, and I started that from scratch. I started that from zero. I had to push to get followers on that page. Everybody starts at zero. Everybody starts at zero. The Facebook pages that I use for selling merchandise to local customers did not start because of social media. It did not start because of my YouTube channel. It did not start because of Instagram. It did not start for any other reason than me pushing that page to my local people. So this is exactly how I did it. I started the Facebook page and I said to myself, okay, so there's been two different pages that I've started. The first one was for the store. Before we opened the store, nobody local knew about us here. Nobody. And so I had to start that page from scratch because I'm like, I cannot open a storefront and have nobody even knowing that we exist. So before we even opened the store, I started this Facebook page. I started sharing it to local buy-sell trade groups. I started saying, hey, to all of my local communities, hey, we have a store that's going to be opening. These are the kind of things that we're going to be selling. I had been selling on Facebook Marketplace for a really long time. Like I said, I have an entire playlist about selling on Facebook Marketplace. I'll also link it down in the video description below if you want to see that playlist. But anyone who would come and do a pickup, I would tell them, hey, there's this Facebook page, go check it out. I just did that and we just slowly started growing followers. And then we started asking people to share and do all these things. You know, we offer some sort of incentive for people to share our Facebook page. And that is how we did organic growth on that Facebook page. It was pounding the pavement, so to speak. It was, just telling everybody that I knew about this Facebook page and asking people to share it and giving someone some incentive to get the word out. Then the second page that we grew was our Facebook auction page. And that's actually one of the things that I am the most proud of because it is just going so well. Yes, it's a lot of work and we're still trying to figure out a lot of kinks. We, have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. We have a lot of people that are trying to get their hands on this project. My sister-in-law, Angie, she is really heading up all of the, picking of the items, the photographing of the items. My husband is scheduling all of the posts. Angie is still ending posts, but then, Matt is going to start ending posts. I'm going to start ending posts. Like, Matt bags the items. The girls here at the store, do the pickups. Like, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with it. But the only reason I think that is because we have so many items. If we were just doing like 10 items a day, one person could easily handle it, but we've got 40. We've got 40 and we're looking to add more. So when you're doing, 300 auctions or 300 buy it nows every single week, you sometimes need to have a lot of cooks in the kitchen because there's a lot of moving parts. So, but something like a page like this could easily be something that one person takes control of, if you're only having 10 items a day or 15 items a day. So it's absolutely something that anybody can do because, again, this is a page that I grew from scratch. We initially had a few hundred people end up following this page that were already followers of the store, which, again, I grew those followers organically, locally, just by simply advertising in Facebook groups and things like that. But so we got a couple hundred people that were already kind of interested because they shopped at the store. So they wanted to see what the Facebook auctions were like. But then we have since added another 1,000 followers just based on pushing that page to everybody and anybody in Facebook groups, anywhere that would hear anything about it. Everybody knows about everybody's local community has a buy, sell, trade page, right? The Wichita area probably has 40 of them. The Wichita area and the surrounding towns have about 40 of these buy, sell, trade pages. I will literally every single week just go into each one of these pages and I will talk about our Facebook auctions. I will say, hey, do you guys know that we do Amazon auctions on Facebook on our Bullseye Bids Facebook page? And I'll link the page. And it's allowed. It's not going against any community guidelines because we are selling things and I'm just promoting our page. And every time I do that, we will boost up a couple hundred followers. And this is a way for us to not only avoid shipping merchandise, but it's also a way to avoid fees because the only fees that we incur are the fees associated with taking payments. That is it. And even I have a way to skirt that. Video coming on avoiding fees here in just a little bit. Just give me some time. On our Facebook auctions, we run roughly an 80% profit margin if we don't factor in labor, because I'm giving you an idea based on you, not me, because I have so many people, running this because we are a full-fledged brick and mortar operation. I'm talking about if it were you, you'd be looking at something like an 80% margin if you don't have to factor in payroll. And the reason for that is we have no platform fees and we have no shipping costs and we have very, very, very little, if any, payment processing fees that come out of there. It's all local pickups. There's no shipping supplies, nothing. So if you really want to not completely eliminate shipping, but just simply add some other revenue streams that are, heavy in the local pickups area, that's definitely something you could do. Something that I would do differently if I didn't have a brick and mortar for people to come do pickups, we would do delivery. For real. I would probably charge maybe $5 a month just to cover gas. And we would do once a week deliveries to people. We would kind of, say all of the Wichita customers, we deliver on Fridays. All of the Derby customers, we deliver on Saturdays. All of the Hayesville customers and Clearwater customers, we will do on Sundays. I would separate all of that and we would just charge them a flat, $5 a month or something. And we would do deliveries. And I think people would love that. I think people would love that. All they have to do is, you know, send you payment via PayPal or give you cash upon delivery. Everybody loves cash, am I right? You know what I'm talking about. So if you don't want someone coming to your house to pick things up, you could always opt for delivery. Or I've even seen people that do that do this kind of thing on Facebook. It wasn't here, it was when I lived in Junction City. Somebody would always be in a certain parking lot certain hours of the day in order to do pickups. There was another lady that I had met when I lived in Junction City. She did a lot of Facebook marketplace sales, and what she would do is that she would be in the CVS parking lot from 2 to 4 on, you know, 3 days throughout the week, and people would just meet her at her, she had an SUV of some kind. She would just have all of their bags and she would just hang out for 2 hours, and that was when people came to pick up their stuff. She didn't actually sell stuff out of her car. She would just hang out in the parking lot. And so she's like, you know, hey, if you bought something from me, I will be at the CVS parking lot between 2 and 4 on Monday, and people would just come pick up their stuff. That was a really awesome way for people to come pick up things without having to go to her house. I thought that was absolutely genius. So you have the options of, you know, charging a surcharge and doing delivery for people. You have the ability to just go to a public place for a couple hours, a few days a week, and you just tell people, hey, you gotta be here. You gotta be here. And if someone can't make it, maybe you make a special exception and you figure out a time. But the bottom line is there are things that you can do locally to completely avoid shipping, because you guys, the shipping rate increases, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. If anything, they're going to keep getting worse. Like I said, I remember when a 4-ounce package was roughly $2.18, and now it's almost $4. That's almost double in only a few short years. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. If we're going to continue to be flippers, we need to be smart. We need to figure out ways to work around these raising prices, because inflation is hitting everybody. Inflation is hitting everybody. And that doesn't necessarily mean people are willing to pay more for things. You know, at my brick and mortar store, my costs have gone up exponentially. But if I just even raise my prices just a scooch, my customers protest. They stomp their feet like toddlers and they protest. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the ones that do are very, very, very loud about it. So I just shudder to think of what's going to happen in another 5 years. I'm just like, got to come up with some options now, because at this rate, it's either adapt or die at this point. So in closing, because I need to wrap this up because I still have 2 cartfuls of stuff looking at me that needs shipped out. In closing, there's no way to avoid these postage rate increases. If you're going to sell online, it's something that you're going to have to do battle with. You're going to either have to charge shipping completely to the buyer or eat the cost. I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat that cost, so I'm charging shipping completely to the buyer. I really do like the Whatnot platform strictly because the buyers on that platform know that they're paying for shipping. They go into that knowing. And I don't know if y'all knew, but Whatnot just started a marketplace section. I have not put anything on the marketplace section yet, but it is a way to post items to Whatnot and sell without actually being live. So, you know, like me, I go live 3 times a week now. I go live at 2 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I have the ability to list things on a marketplace that can sell at any time, at any day when I'm not live. So that is something else that Whatnot is moving into that's really awesome. I have heard through the grapevine also that Whatnot might be looking into local pickup as well. That's through someone that just went through onboarding and they asked the question. So it's way down the pike. It's not even coming soon. But, you know, Whatnot is looking to evolve. And the fact that they charge 100% of the shipping to the customer is very, very attractive as a seller. Again, the buyer still has the ability to dictate the price that they're willing to pay because it is an auction site. So just because something costs $10 to ship, they can decide with their bid how much they're willing to spend. And you as the seller don't have to get stuck paying outrageous shipping costs. But then if you're selling on any other platform, highly, highly, highly recommend charging shipping. The other recommendation that I have is to take some of your business and move it away from shipping entirely. I think everybody way underestimates the power of local sales. Not only is it good for you as a seller, because then you don't have to worry about shipping an item. Not only do you have to not worry about the costs associated with shipping an item, the boxes, the packaging, the shipping label themselves, but you get the item out faster. You don't have to take the time to do the shipping. And I believe customers like this too, because they don't have to pay for shipping. They don't have to wait for a package to arrive. They can essentially buy something and pick it up right away. I cannot tell you how many people buy on our auction page and they are here within hours of winning the auction because they want their item that bad. Definitely options out there to grow, local sales. You've got flea markets, you've got booths, you've got yard sales, you've got Facebook, you've got the ability to start your own page and advertise it and do local pickups. Your only option in reselling is not shipping. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm a seller, so that means that I'm online, that means that I have to ship. So many items can be sold locally, and so many more items can be more attractive to buyers, especially if they are heavy, when you don't have to factor in that shipping cost. You can actually ask more for an item because you don't have to pay the shipping costs. For instance, we had this really, really, really nice vacuum. Really nice vacuum. The going rate on eBay was roughly $100 with free shipping. This is probably the best example I could give you why local sales are awesome. So this vacuum cleaner that we had, it's brand new on Amazon, $200. $200 on Amazon. The condition that we have is open box. Looks like it's been used a couple of times. And the going rate on eBay was $100 with free shipping. So if I was to list it on eBay, I would probably list it somewhere around $75 or $80 plus shipping because it's a big vacuum. It's going to cost a lot to ship it. So I was looking at $75 to $80 plus the cost of shipping. When you list something online, you have to wait for the buyer. You have to wait for it to sell. You have to worry about returns. But instead, you know what we did? You know what we did? We put it up on auction on our Facebook page with a buy it now option, and within hours, somebody paid full price asking of $85. So within hours of putting it on our Facebook page, we sold it for $85, no platform fees, no shipping, lightning fast, gone, easy peasy out the door. That vacuum is sold. So that is just another prime example of local being way better than e-commerce. Anyway, I need to stop babbling. I've got to go do my shipping. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video and videos like this, please make sure to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified whenever I post a new video. Questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below. Also, if you have any tips for saving during all of these postage rate increases, make sure to put it down in the comments below. Let's share the knowledge. Let's get some ideas from each other. I will make sure to put a lot of useful information down in the video description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye-bye.